So this is a mobilization of your hip flexors here. It's a glute bridge, but we're not trying to strengthen the glutes. We're actually trying to get the hip flexors in front to dial down a little bit or relax. So from here, what we're going to do is drop your low back down towards the ground as hard as you can, and then keep the low back as low to the ground as you can as you raise your hips up towards the ceiling. So you're trying to get your hips as high as you can get them. The back can come up off the ground if you can get up there, but you want to keep the low back driving down towards the ground, if that makes sense. Raise the hips up higher, but keep the low back driving down. Fight for it, Danny, come on. Higher, 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 higher. Good, and relax. Go ahead and go down, relax. Now, don't think about anything that I just said. Get your hips up as high to the ceiling as you can. Good. So most of that mobility is coming from our back instead of actual hip extension. Not most, but a lot of it. So if we can maximize this, we'll be good. So for our lat mobilization, what you're going to do is set up on your knees with your elbow on the bench, and then think like arm wrestling position. And then I want your wrist in a bench position. So I don't want your wrist cocked back. I want it there. And then you're fighting to get that wrist above the elbow or to the outside of the elbow. So we want that line there to be vertical as you rock your hips back and try to get a stretch through the lat here. You can hold this for 40 to 60 seconds on each side. Mobilize for 2 sets before any squatting or benching work. So for the posterior hip capsule stretch, what you're gonna do is get down on your hands and knees, drop the left leg over the right ankle, and then allow all of your body weight to fall through that right knee into the ground so that we get a stretch out of the right hip right there. You can move your hips around in a U shape towards the outside of your body to try to find the portion of the capsule that's most stiff. Once you find that, sit in that position, lay into it, and get a good stretch out of that hip. You can hold it there for 40 to 60 seconds, 2 rounds each side. For our side step, you're gonna come down into a partial squat position with the knees over the pinky toes. Good. Now you're gonna step to the side, leading with your knee. So I never want the ankle to lead the movement. Yep, there you go. And you'll notice when you step to the right, the left leg falls in a little bit. So try to prevent that from happening. Much better going in this direction. Perfect, good. 15 steps each direction. 2 rounds. All right, so for our skater, I want your torso lean forward over the knee over the pinky toe, making sure that it's not dropped in towards the inside of your body, then reaching in and out with the back leg to put tension on that band. And you're trying to keep that knee still the whole time, so that knee is going to want to move in and back, and you prevent that from happening by using the glute on that right side. So think like we're dividing your squat in half by the legs. 2 sets of 15 each side. All right, so we're gonna mobilize this left shoulder here by activating the rotator cuff. So you're going to keep the elbow just 1 inch above the ground, thumb up towards the ceiling, and then rotate the wrist back high towards the ceiling as far as you can without that elbow riding up. So we want the elbow to stay low down to the ground, and then let the wrist fall back down, light tap on the ground, come back up. Repeat. You should feel a deep burning sensation within the back of the shoulder blade or the shoulder. Don't let that elbow ride up. Keep it nice and low. Good. You'll notice that you want to cheat with your wrist, so try to prevent that from happening. Good. Sets of 15 on each side here.